Hi people, today I'm going to review something that occurred in Roblox again. If you remember, Roblox has been on a streak of events that received negative perception from the community ever since Metaverse Champions came out. To explain these events quickly, there are a lot of games that already were made on the platform which not only were below support quality most of the time, but caused a lot of drama in the process. However, this time they decided to build up some hype for their new addition to the Hunt series by making mysterious posts on Twitter with hidden messages that were deleted shortly afterwards. At the end, David Baszucki confirmed that the winner of the event gets $1 million as a prize, which eventually led to the release of the event, yada yada yada, you know how the story goes. Another stack of games thrown together into a singular event that are all connected by having badges inside of them that lead to you receiving prizes. So in this video, I'm going to review this whole event, give my proper thoughts on all of it, and decide whether it was good or not. Let's get to the point. Starting with the hub, it gives you a free token upon visiting and a selection of 25 games that are listed for the event. Wait, isn't this just the first edition again? I feel like making the place very similar to the previous hub was kinda lazy. It could have been something else this time around. But at the end of the day, its sole purpose is to organize all the games and everything else surrounding the event, so I guess I'll give them a pass. Also, I do think that Roblox trying to convince people into buying items is pretty annoying. The games on the other hand, that's when the potholes of the event start to be seen even more. Out of the 25 games that were inside this event, 13 had regular objectives inside of them in order to get the tokens. Whether needing to survive 3 disasters in NDS or going for 10 floors without dying and regret later, these games fitted the category and did a pretty mediocre job in this part of the event by just existing. Other 10 games differentiated by adding special maps in their games or doing objectives that were slightly different from the regular gameplay, which I guess can be seen as an improvement from the previous 13 games, but not all the time, and ended up being enjoyable for me. Let me show you what I mean with pressure. For the quest, you needed to beat a special map made for the event, and inside of it there's a monster that goes by the name the Crooked. I'm just gonna call him Crook. He has a gimmick that is basically him being able to follow you when you're not looking at him for nearly the entire quest, and has led to a lot of stupid moments appearing throughout the game of its other aspects in the mix. One example can be seen when you encounter another monster made for the map that you need to stop by flashing him when he's attacking you. However, there's a problem. Sometimes he can appear right near Crook, making it so that when you flash him, Crook will attack you. Also, Crook was pretty glitchy, so that was amazing. I can go longer about Pressure's quest and its flaws, but I need to get to 2 more games that I didn't include in any categories prior to them. These 2 games that I'm referring to are Arsenal and Bayside High School. They both did a good job in making straightforward fun quests filled with personalities that I don't see any issues in, but I do feel like Arsenal is better in quality since it was more in-depth and unique compared to Bayside High School. The fact that only 2 games sold fun to play out of the 25 games listed for the event still kinda bothers me considering the amount of opportunities they had, but I completed them all and there's no need to complain anymore. Or am I finished with this? When I first found out about the existence of mega tokens, I felt pretty mad. 1, I didn't know they even existed in the first place. 2, I still needed to play more of this event. Another thing that was really annoying throughout getting these mega tokens was the fact that you needed to get them in a specific order, which is a shame because it could have been treated the same way they did for regular tokens and make it so that you can get them without that crap. Whining aside though, we need to shift back to the game, so buckle up because you're in for a long ride. To summarize SpongeBob Tower Defense the best, you basically go to various locations spread across the game until you reach Captain's quarters in order to access a special tower defense round. After completing the round, go to the cave that is hidden in the event map, and at the end it gives you the mega token. Quite a decent quest in the event for me. Could have been a little more engaging, but overall not that bad. In Untitled Tag game, you need to go through a portal that teleports you to a futuristic city in which you crash in one of its buildings and get put inside of some prison. Throughout the entire game, you need to traverse through multiple locations in the building and do objectives in the process that leads to you getting sucked into some red orb in which you get the mega token. But you're still not done with the quest. At the end, you need to escape the building and run for your life afterwards, which leads to you going back to where you came from and finally getting the badge. Definitely a highlight in the event for me. I love the way everything in this quest came together and resulted in a great experience. Good job to the people who were working on the quest because this is genuinely an excellent not effort. In the lobby, there are 4 pieces of the code scattered across the area. You need to find them all in order to join the event map and make the full code for a door that was hidden in a secret room that contains a decoder. Afterwards, you need to find 5 radios of hidden symbols across the map in order to decode a door by implementing the password made out of those symbols in another secret room that leads to a station. You need to ride the tram that leads to some mysterious underground area in which you need to complete a quote-unquote game show that is pretty tedious if you ask me, and you get the mega token. Much like the regular quests in the game, I wasn't a big fan of it. Still better than other missions and games included for this event, which I'll get to, but right now I need to talk about something a little more important. After you collect the first mega token, you'll get access to the orb zone. Inside of it, there is a puzzle that requires you to already have the first 3 mega tokens that I talked about right now. The puzzle itself is a little challenging and requires you to use 2 brain cells while doing it, something that I appreciate in the hub despite it not having much to offer. By the time you finish it, the block door in the zone will be unlocked. It has an item waiting for you inside of it and additionally has an entrance to the next zone. That's when a pattern for this one starts to be seen frequently. Get a specific amount of mega tokens, do the puzzle in the last zone you unlocked, get an item, and go to the next zone. I don't really get why they needed to stretch this pattern for 5 different zones when they could have just made 3 zones with that pattern at max, but that's the event for you, and if you want to complete it fully, then follow this per decision made by the people who worked on this event. Anyways, I need to talk about the rest of the mega tokens. Go to the end of the event map and go down a little bit to enter the blue portal. It sends you into a different map that you need to complete so that you'll get the mega token. There were a couple moments inside of the map I thought were kinda stupid, like the bottom puzzle and the moving platform section, but overall I didn't hate it nor like it. Get inside the shooting range, shoot at some specific target which allows you to shoot at the wall that leads to a secret room, go back to the shady chicken that gave you the mission for the regular token so that he'll give you another mission, which is just kill 15 people in a 3v3 match. Go back to the shady chicken again so that he'll give you the last mission, which is kill one of the bosses that the chicken gives you an option to. Not to mention that these bosses weren't good. Go back to the shady chicken for the final time and claim the mega token. I didn't like the whole quest. It didn't have any parts that I thought were fun. It left me feeling empty. Find 5 gold thingies around the game while wearing a specific hat in order to claim each one of them, and boom, you get the mega token. This was boring. Find 3 gems around the map, input the code with numbers that appear in the same room where you input the code, make the portal appear after assembling everything, fight the boss that is inside the portal, and get the token after defeating him. Okay. Get to some obby pillar thing to build a portal out of some iron pieces, get sucked into the portal, have a boss fight of this guy named after a baby cartoon, and after beating him you get the mega token. I mean, not a bad quest by any means, but Now it's time for an annoying one. You need to find a pair of goggles that is randomly spawned in any map of the game inside the Infection Hero game mode. After that, you need to attack enemies that have specific letters floating around them in an order that spells out the word mega. On paper, this quest sounds fine, but what made it ridiculous was the fact that before the nerf, you needed to spell out mega hunt. And knowing that this game has a chaotic nature, it made the whole quest way harder and near impossible to complete. Even Pressure's quest at least had effort put into it despite being difficult, something you can't really compare to Infection Gunfight's case because it was terribly put together just to capitalize off of premium payouts. Which makes sense since the game is literally pay to win. But I got the token, so let's move on. Go inside the Hall of Fame and pull the lever that spawns 3 shapes that you need to find around the map. They have a number near them that indicate the order in which you need to score while standing on an area of those shapes without messing up at all at a specific chord in the map. Once you get done with that, you'll get teleported to a 1v1 with a bot that I presumably defeated by just dunking on him and received a mega token afterwards. And if you don't win, you gotta throw basketballs again. I guess the quest had a little bit of challenge in it, but it still wasn't enough to be something good for me, so overall it was fine. Help out multiple citizens around the city after talking to this guy, and after the help go back to this guy so that he'll give you a map. It has locations for 4 numbers scattered across the city alongside the place in which you need to dig up a safe of a mega token inside that you will lock with those same numbers. I was bored throughout the entire quest and found enjoyment in not playing the game correctly. Fantastic work, Century creators. The next one is a little bit similar to the way the SpongeBob TDS quest worked and surprisingly, I ended up enjoying it more than half of the quest in the event. Which, you know, shows that even a studio behind a game about Hell's Kitchen has more dignity than the people behind Infection Gunfight. That's how low the bar is for the game about shooting anime zombie girls. But yeah, the quest was okay, so moving on. In Arsenal, you need to go back to the event map and do it normally until you reach this part and shoot at a target above you. After that, you need to turn the walls around you into positions that will activate the door to a science lab, in which you need to make a mechanism that once equipped teleports you to an RPG? Isn't Arsenal supposed to be an FPS game? Throughout the rest of the game, you need to complete this long RPG section that ends with a boss fight and gives you the mega token after completion. Honestly, I'm not surprised that Roll made another fun mission for a Roblox Event. At this point, they have an entire catalog of these missions, and with this one, I can say that it's a victory lap. You get my respect and additionally a star. Next, so you talk to this guy, go to a secret lab, input a code that consists of disasters happening in maps, go back to the same guy after finishing the code, and you'll get the mega token after he dies. Wow, who would have thought that a quest inside a game made in 2008 would be normal? Next, find a secret button in the map, go into a cave inside a cliff and break the wall that has a purple egg hidden inside of it, feed the noob the purple egg and watch him get an aneurysm because you're a psychopath, which leads to you getting teleported to a different map. Get to the top of the map while trying to avoid purple eggs that destroy your way while spawning near you, and you receive the mega token. I like the whole concept of the egg in the fractured world, but it could have been executed a little more in depth, so that was kind of a shame. Next, go around the game and do specific things in order to activate a secret door that contains the mega token. Next, find numbers in multiple maps of the game that you need to combine for a code which leads you to an annoying and stupid boss fight that took me an hour to beat that gives you the mega token after you complete it. You barely tried. Good job. Go around the map and use numerous items in multiple locations in order to activate the door that leads to a mysterious lab in which you need to sit in a chair and fart. That causes the steamy pipe you sat in front of to explode, and it creates a wormhole in which you get sucked into. Afterwards, you need to complete a hard version of Cross Your Road by killing the evil principal with collecting 5 bombs in the map, and after that you get the mega token. God, this was draining. Find 4 blue sticky notes across the floors through the elevator, then find 4 floppy disks in the lobby, hack those floppy disks that at the end contain 2 numbers each. Unlock the secret box by putting together all the numbers and you get the mega token. Fine? I can't say more about this quest, it really is just fine. Input a code Red Cliff Falls into this ominous computer, play the UN map on the mega difficulty and get the mega token after completing it. Why are the quests getting more stale? Click on unindicated things in the raid zone in order to receive the mega token. How does Preston keep getting away with participating in events? This is abysmal. You see this ball over here? You need to get it all across the map to a station a UFO crash by, and afterwards drive to other 4 crashed UFOs to get 4 code pieces in order to unlock the mega token. Boring. Go over to the very last boxing arena and climb a secret rope that leads you to a terminal. Hack the terminal for a mini game and you'll be able to dash into the void until your game starts to tweak a little bit and you get teleported to an obby. After completing the obby, you'll go against the white samurai boss that once beaten gives you the mega token. For a quest this far in the event, it managed to be pretty alright. Moving on, grab the remote and battery in the lobby, find another 2 batteries in the round, use the remote to play a new cutscene and get teleported to a science lab. Find multiple items in the lab until you reach the boss fight that once beaten will reward you with the mega token afterwards. Again, it's an okay quest, nothing much to say here. Go to this guy, go to Terrapin Island afterwards, navigate through the cave by looking like an idiot while doing the maze and the music puzzle, get the token, go back to the guy and you're finished with the quest. That's where I'm gonna end talking about games 1 by 1 because my brain is sizzling more than butter on a frying pan. Hi people, I'm feeling better now, so let's get a couple things done before wrapping up the video. First off, the hub. If I had to choose my favorite part of the event, then I definitely would pick it for sure. Going through the entirety of it, looking at every zone with the amount of detailing they had alongside original OC backing it shows that Roblox developers can care about quality in events. I do feel like they could have thrown a bunch of mega tokens inside of zones to make them feel less empty. Like I get they focused a lot on hints for the mega tokens in other games, but if I'm being honest here, I wasn't trying to be in the top 10 at all and I saw it as something to ignore because there were guides on YouTube on on how to get the mega tokens. Still, the hub ended up being good for me, and you know what also should have been good? The games. Oh my god, they were so inconsistent with the quality that it put me in a position where I had mood swings throughout the entirety of my playthrough for the event. Like, you can just go from a relatively fun mission to one of the most exhausting experiences you've been in just by going from one game to another. However, if we're being real here, it shouldn't be shocking that the games left this impression. Roblox has made numerous huge events that relied on loads of games being attached to them ever since Econ 2019 came out, and after that they began to push more of these events for the sole reason of, you guessed it, getting money. And if you remember, people didn't like that. But what about the free prizes that you get in the event? The main reason that people even play events in the first place? Well, I definitely can't deny that they look good. One thing that made them kind of stupid for me was the need to make 4 separate versions for the first half of them and 2 versions for the other. I can't really tell if the reason for that was either the developers having trouble to decide on which variant to stick with, or if they wanted to give them my money. I'm leaning towards the second option though. But wait, what happened to $1 million? Alright people, now it's time for the most important part in the event. In the end, they decided to finish off the event with a live stream in which the people who were in the top 10 of the leaderboards for the event competed for $1 million. And to no one's surprise, a couple people who were originally in the top 10 were disqualified for stupid reasons. One case that bothers me was with Epix. He originally was in the 5th place but got disqualified because he said edgy jokes when he was around 13 to 14 years old. In my opinion, disqualifying him over edgy jokes is outrageous. Everyone at some point said some stuff at a young age that was edgy, but Roblox sees it as something to be worried about and disqualifies him regardless. It's not even like he'll tell that to people in public. No, this is an online game platform. People say negative things here more frequently, so stop acting like it's a problem while ignoring bigger issues. There are more people that got disqualified for unfair reasons in the event, but I need to get to the stream, so I'll just put them on the screen. As I said before, it was basically top 10 people on the Hunt leaderboards competing in a set of games for the million alongside Roblox's take on Talk Tula appearing on the stream. Shouldn't be a big deal, right? Yeah, they kinda messed up. Dress Don't Press being a part of the list for the games was kind of an odd choice considering that this event was supposed to be taken as a serious competition with $1 million as a prize, but overall it was fine. Super League Soccer had horrible hitboxes, people legit grabbed balls from impossible distances, and the staff didn't do much about it. Blade Ball also had terrible hitboxes, plus the gameplay was dookie. So Hat Battles was purely RNG because of its stupid main mechanic for the game. Can't forget about the fart ability and whimsical fun. Doors was actually not that bad. Dry World was fine. Rivals was fine as well. Also, Robbie picking the sniper in the last round is considerably the biggest fumble of the year. And Tower of Hell, can you just leave Pixel Dev alone with this stupid game?
No.
Watching the last 2 players try to complete the tower was an extremely insufferable experience. The fact that they managed to play worse than literal children really bothers me because Robbie had such a big opportunity to show who's actually good at obbies, but nope. The one decision he made in Rivals made him lose and left me and other people disappointed. But yeah, ShapeyH got the million at the end, so congrats to him while I get a bunch of virtual items. What was the point of this? Roblox events used to not to try to come off as some huge competition with money as the big prize if you won. Their format was less complicated. Their only thing to do was to make something to satisfy people by making a couple quests inside active games on the platform or even creating one just for the whole event. Now, they try to convince people that they're gonna make some sort of grand tournament just to give us a product filled with sloppy missions and unavoidable monetization that leaves a sour impression to consumers. You think Joe Bartolozzi, I'm Dante, and some random VTubers showing up in the stream will make me more happy? Like, you should pay more attention towards the choices you make because you put in the stream YouTubers who have said stuff you wouldn't be fond of while simultaneously disqualifying Wepics. Not saying that they're bad, but the hypocrisy is major. Hell, I don't even think that the host even wanted to be there, like just judging by their expression, the only thing on their mind was to leave the stream. The worst part is, we still play these events. I genuinely don't understand why we should hope that Roblox is gonna make another event that will have the same amount of quality in it as in Ekhan 2018. I don't care if it's gonna have some really cool items that won't appear in Roblox ever again. It's not the same feeling that you had when getting them in previous events. They're not gonna make events the same way they did in the past. They're now a corporation focusing more on quantity over quality. This is the format they focus on from now on. So people, please, if you ever see Roblox make another event, tell them to put the fries in the bag and ignore them. You a sellout, but I ain't buying. Overall, I'd give this event a 3.5 out of 10. What an improvement from the first edition. But until then, I'm bagelliker. Support me by subscribing to my channel, liking the video, and leaving a comment down below. Also, make sure to join my Roblox group in the description and buy the items inside of it if you can. Thank you for watching the video and have a great rest of your day. Bye!
Chicken jockey, what does that mean?
Chicken jockey.